Hi everyone, Ralph Havens here, and I'm with Jen Havens.
Hi from Jen.
And we're going to be looking at running form today with our Heart of Running program. We have Paul Greer, 359 miler and 339 1500 meter runner, who is now the track coach with the Rocket and Running program and with the San Diego City College professor there. And so we're going to be watching him run. This is before his first session. We'll be showing you slow motion speed of him also, and Jen and I will be just talking about what we see. So that's his before. This is after 5 sessions, so we did 1 session every week for 5 sessions, and this is before the 5th session.
You look so good.
And we'll be showing you it in slow motion so you can pick up stuff that you might not see at full speed.
But even at full speed, you can see a lot.
And then this is partway through the 5th session.
That is awesome.
And so even with possibly eyes that aren't as trained as us, you might see some differences. So here he is again with before the first session. Notice how he's coming off the ground. Notice his upper back and rib cage, especially the heart and lung area. If you were to imagine how he's lifting off the ground, think of what's causing him to lift off the ground in the way he's lifting off the ground now.
And you can see it a little bit in his feet when you're watching down below and you're comparing clips. You see he's not coming a lot off the ground here, but then when you look up at his upper back, you really see the difference there. You will when we look at the other clips. But it looks like there's a whole block across his upper body and the shoulders and neck area.
And so what we talk about with the Heart of Running is that what is lifting a runner to bring him up and forward, bring him or her up and forward. We feel there's some energy, a quanta, a space, something that's lifting them. And so when you look at Paul before we do the program, notice his upper back and his chest area, but not just in a here's his bones and muscles and t-shirt kind of thing, but if you were to imagine what is on the inside of that area, in the space of the heart and the lung area, what does that look like? And how much lift is he getting from that area? And then also, of course, look at how he's landing on the ground, the impact, and compare the right leg to the left. He lands a little harder on the right leg and a little more heel strike, and that could be why he's been having some Achilles problems at this point on that right side. And just notice how much he lifts up and forward through his chest area.
And also notice his face, just his overall appearance and expression. It's interesting to watch this shift as we go through the videos as well. And his hips too, they're moving a lot here. That's something that we might observe changing.
So notice the wiggle in his hips, how his waistline goes up and down on the left and on the right. So that's before we ever got started with him. We just met him in a park in Mission Hills in San Diego, California. Okay, and on this next one, this is going to be before his 5th session. So we had seen him 4 times, and this was before his 5th session. And now notice his upper back and body, and there's a looseness there, but more than a looseness, there seems to be something that's lifting him from that area. And his feet are landing with a quicker turnover, and he's got more paw back. His feet are pulling back. He's pulling through that area better, so you might see it in slow motion easier.
He looks much more powerful too, like stable and powerful, but still very light at the same time.
That's what I see too. His elbows are pulling back much, in a much more forceful but an elegant way. So you can also see how his shoulders pull back, and notice how when one shoulder, say the left one pulls back, the right hip pulls back, and the right shoulder pulls back, and the left hip pulls back. So there's a diagonal there that winds up, and then when it unwinds, he gets a force that pushes him up and forward. So notice that. So this is before his 5th session, and you can just notice how he is pulling those elbows back forcefully but powerfully. You can also notice the white line across his bottom. He's not wiggling it as much, so he's more stable. And notice how when his left foot, especially when it's about to hit the ground, he's starting to bring it back a little bit. That's called a paw back. And he's just barely starting to get that on the right leg too, which he didn't have before. But notice the chest area, what's on the inside of the chest area, the heart and the lung area. Notice how it looks softer, and there's something kind of allowing him to be pulled up and forward by that area. He's getting more lift, as if his heart and lungs are lighter somehow.
He looks springy.
Yeah, and so where does that spring come from? Not just powerful feet or legs, but there's something in his chest area that's pulling him up and forward. It appears to us a lightness that's kind of buoyant. So that's before his 5th session. Now, partway through the 5th session, we have that video clip coming up. So we did part of it. We were just barely through part of the 5th session when we filmed this next section.
And here I just love this turn. He looks like an animal in the wild, really like going for it.
Yeah, he's got a nice lean up and forward. What is pulling him up and forward? So here's after halfway through the 5th session, and now notice the lightness. Notice how that white line across his bottom isn't wiggling. Notice the quick turnover. His legs are pulling back before his foot hits the ground, and notice the power that he generates. But it's power coming from that mid-thoracic area between his shoulder blades. It's as if something's pushing him up and forward, or we would feel pulling him up and forward, and we call that the heart space, a lift coming from a buoyant energy or space in there. Notice the lift that he's getting through his whole body.
You can see it if you compare it again to the first clip, how much he's springing off the ground, and he just looks so relaxed but powerful at the same time.
Yeah, how did he get that stability where his bottom isn't wiggling, that lift and that power through the shoulder blade upper back area?
He looks younger.
Yeah, and he does. He's got a lightness to him. And
notice his face too. His whole expression and field has totally shifted as well. He looks like he's totally enjoying, just having a blast running.
Yeah, so with this Heart of Running, what we can do is with powerful yet not that complicated exercises, they're simple but they're profound ways to generate this lift from your rib cage area, your heart space. So you can see what improving the heart space area does for runners. And even if you didn't follow the whole biomechanics of what we could see, just watch these videos of Paul before his sessions here, and then as he goes through the sessions, and just notice the difference. You can replay it even. And without even knowing exactly what's different, just notice which one looks lighter and easier and happier. And that's what I feel the Heart of Running can do for people. So we look forward to showing you more of this stuff and how to improve your running for your own enjoyment.
And a big thank you for Paul Greer for joining us in the park and letting us play.
Yes, thank you very much, Paul. And we'll be sending out more info.